Okay, so it's been about 10 days since my last post. Basically, what happened is you can see here that I got hurt basically the Saturday after I posted the last video. I've been basically out for the last 10 days, but that Saturday I had kind of started. So, I'm guessing this is like day two, 2.5, day 2 or 3, whatever you want to call it. I came out and I decided I was going to just remove the swing arm altogether, just get everything off the back. I was leaving the rear tire on for now, or the rear wheel, but I'll just put the new one on. Those should be in today. Actually, the wheels are in. I had the tires in the front one, but there was a problem with the bead, so I just sent it back to manufacturer, get a new one. Took off the swing arm and then did all this kind of reshaping that I wanted to, kind of show here, that just kind of followed this along, and then I plated in the area here. So there's a couple little, small imperfections, and I'll probably just use a little body filler, and jam in these little areas, and then just sand that down for the final sanding. But you can see it's, a nice, real clean look, and that's just what I was going for. I just kind of didn't want it to look like the frame had been chopped necessarily. So once that gets all painted, it'll look real clean. I moved a couple of other electrical connections. Just moved them down from the battery box, nothing major there. And then I started working on, today. Well, I started this rear end on the Saturday, and then I went out and got hurt that night. And then I actually did some of the welding like 2 days ago, just kind of welding some of the plate in. And then today when I came out, I did a lot of the final sanding on it, or not the final sanding, but just sanding out a lot of the welds and smoothing that out and shaping it up. And then I'm starting to work on the front end here, so I need to get the front end down much lower than it is stock, just for the purpose really of running a 23-inch front wheel. So regardless, I would lower it anyway with like a drop-in spring kit, but for this one I need to get it way down. So these are actually all brand new fork tubes that are 4 inches under the stock ones, you can see. So I'll try them with that if I need to. I do have the drop-in spring kit, which I can modify to actually bring this down a little bit lower as well. And that's pretty much what I'm working on. So like I said, I don't know, what do you want to call it, day 2, day 3. Just another quick little tip, when you're doing your mock-up phase and everything, don't use any of your final seals. Like, use the old, the old seals, the old torque bolts, stuff like that. Just, you don't want to use your good stuff until you're finally ready to put everything back together. So I just wanted to add that real quick, just a little tidbit. All right, so I got the fork tubes back together and just kind of put the front end back on the bike. This is the headlight that I'm going to be using. I'm seeing now that it obviously sits way too low, at least for my liking, so I'll have to make some brackets that, put it up into this area, probably more along the lines of the triple tree, or right within there, the top of the triple tree. I'm actually going to remove the rotors off of here and try to salvage these bolts. So I think after some polishing and cleaning up, they'll work out fine, rather than having to get new bolts for everything. So or I may even end up blacking these bolts out, and if I black out those bolt heads, then I'll definitely end up using these, but assuming everything is fine. So I'm just going to start, pulling that off, pull the rotor off of the rear as well. And then you can see all the stock stuff here. This is just everything that's going to be for sale now. Alright, so it's been a couple hours. I just kind of forgot to pick up the camera, but I've just been kind of working away here. I think I left off, I was pulling the rotors off of the wheels here. I did get the front one off, no problem. The rear one, I got 4 of the 5 thread locks broken on those and loosened, and the 5th one I actually broke my bit. So that's probably about the 10th bolt or so that's been on here, just really just concreted on. The pivot bolt for the swing arm. There was 2-inch extensions for the forward controls, and all 6 of those were a real bitch. I had to oil them and do all sorts of shit. to get these off. So the rear axle also was just way too tight than any axle ever should be. So I don't know who torqued everything down on here, but it was done pretty well. Anyway, I got the swing arm back on. I was hoping the wheels were going to get in. The tire did come in, and I'll probably get the wheels later tonight, but I'm not going to get them on here. I'm done for the day. I actually go out of town tomorrow and tomorrow night, so I'll probably have the wheels on in a couple days from now, and I'll try to repost a video when I got some progress. But I also, the risers came in. You can see there's just some slim lines. I won these on eBay. They're brand new. I got a great deal on them. The tank that I threw on is just a Wassel style, like British style tank. That I've had here. I want to use it on a Sportster at some point. I really like the tank a lot, but probably not for this bike. I think that the height off the backbone is probably approximately where I want the tank for this bike to be, so that's kind of why I threw it on. And it also can kind of show that line of the headlight, you know, in a proximity to the risers in the tank. I think that always should be a nice line to that, you know, regardless of how it is. But this being lower than the tank just does not work for me. I don't care for that at all. So that being said, just a small, you know, mount that I can make for that, just something real easy can make a real big difference. But I also removed the oil tank, you can see, and also the oil lines, which are here. The oil lines are going to go black. The tank itself is already gloss black and in real great shape, so I'll just clean that up a bit and that should be good to go. But I need to get to this top cover for the tranny, because that is also going to go black, as well as the side cover, cam cover, timing cover, tappet blocks, push rod covers, the rocker covers, as well as the rocker, so the inner and outer of that. For sure the outer primary, as well as the derby and inspection cover, and I'm just debating now whether I'm going to do the inner primary or not. I would like to, for the look of it. I think it's going to look way better if I do it. But that being said, there's nothing wrong in there. There's not even a gasket that's bad anywhere, and I just hate to really dig into things when there's no problems whatsoever. I mean, if there was a bad gasket or something, you know, it wouldn't be an issue at all. But you know, I just got to take out. There's quite a bit. It's not that big of a job, but I just got to take out quite a bit of stuff, and then. You know, also there's a bearing that'll need to be taken out and replaced in the actual cover itself. So, you know, I'm just debating whether I'm going to do that or not. But that being said, the rotors I mentioned, and the reason I wanted to show, actually, these are the new rotors that I'm going to be using. And these are obviously all black. And these are stainless rotors with a black oxide finish. And these are just badass, I think. They're not cheap. I got a pretty good deal on them, I feel. But again, these should perform a lot better than the stock ones, and obviously look way better. I've powder coated the interiors of the stock ones before. I've used two-piece ones with the black interior, like off of a night train before, and I don't think that. I think these are going to look just way better. So obviously the color combo that I'm kind of going with, I don't know if I really said, but pretty much gloss black is what I'll be going with for the majority of things. I'm thinking this time, rather than the flat. And then this kind of, you know, dull, kind of flat gray, flat silver metal tone, I guess. So the majority will be black as usual, and then the accent will kind of be that metal tone or whatever, like I said. So this will be it for today, and I will throw an update on as soon as I've got a little more progress.